everybody. Thank you, Jeff. And thank you, Katy. Thank you, Micah. So we've read together in Iowa, and we've read now in Texas. I hope we read in many states. And it's nice. We're from, my family's visiting. We're from Minneapolis, and so it's great here for a lot of reasons. And we're very happy to be here right now. So I'm going to start with a few pieces from the lyric chapbook that you mentioned, that Joe mentioned. I haven't read from it here. I think maybe its first birthday, and so I do think of myself as a poet, and so I don't usually say a lot of setup, but this is from a bigger collection that will one day be a whole book. It is, in some state, a pretty crappy book at home, but this part I like well enough to share with people. And I think the only things you really need to know about it are that was trained to be a right-handed person from being a left-handed person as a small person, and that there's a missing brother that isn't. So, but that's all. This is Misplaced Sinister, a couple sections. The two words get used synonymously, but a labyrinth is not a maze, and a maze is not a labyrinth. A maze is multicursal. It consists of complex branching passages through which the solver must find a route. A labyrinth, on the other hand, has only a single folding, twisting path meant to lead a person to the center and back out the same way. It's unicursal. In the Jim Henson film Labyrinth, for example, David Bowie plays the Goblin King, and he demands that teenage Sarah make her way through his labyrinth to win back the baby brother she had wished away. The Goblin King is mistaken, however. He rules a maze. Or more accurately, he rules a tour puzzle, which is another kind of multicursal game where new paths can open suddenly and a solver must overcome challenges. The film should have been named Tour Puzzle. Of course, that's terrible. Psychologists term the retraining of left-handers to right-handers misplaced sinister. And several studies link the trauma with speech pathologies, such as the Duke of York's debilitating stutter, or the occasional inability to locate the noun you need. The noun I need is a frequent dark horse. I must whisper to it or say an associative string of wrong words until it emerges from its secret pocket of signifiers. Absent words illuminating the absence inside words. Sometimes the emerged word is a surprise, not the one I was singing to. This can make for wonderful accidental discoveries in poetry and slightly charades-like undergraduate lectures. Last week, for example, I wrote illusion on the whiteboard when I had intended to write illumination. I can't prove it has any definite correlation to what hand I used to use or if it matters, but there is a lot of revision in my life. How I loved a pencil maze, summers between middle school years, whole books of maze games and word search puzzles to busy myself in the back seat of the family car between state lines and family emergencies, chapters of books. How well a maze busied an innate, impossible instinct to search. How terrible my alarm when the number 2 lead path I was drawing would bump an ink wall. Still, how comforting that there existed places where anybody's wrong turns were part of a game, could be erased. Something that's really fluid for me about writing this prose thing is like it's going to take me 10 years or more to actually finish this thing, and so it's really porous. And so the first poem, there aren't a lot of poems in here, but there is a poem that starts the chapbook, and it has meandered its way into a collection of poems that'll be out next month. So, but this little obsession with labyrinths is bleeding out over a lot of my work. So this is the start of this, though. Into the labyrinth. Enter with a question, the path folds, and I pleat the outskirts with following, sunrise and chill. Whatever you carry in, carry out, groggy novelty, absence, luck, some blackbirds observed from an ash tree. The path folds, and I am no more than a sinew inside a flowering, I'm afraid that my impression of stillness, the walls are not, our suggestion are more of a rule one agrees to follow. My impression of a question is a stillness. I'm afraid that the path's folds resemble picking off the petals of a question like the boss of all flowers. Single pathway into the center. It's not a maze you'll follow, the single path out, the path whose fold resembles insomnia, yes, but also my impression of seeking. I'm afraid that there's a prison, a cochlear progression round these circuits, like the boss of all asking, sawtooth and cusp. How can I possibly be doing this right? Rose petal stations. I'm afraid that some blackbirds observe my impression. The walls are not mineral, vegetable, animal, a game, human, the noumenon, that there's a prison at the heart of everything. I'm afraid that there's a prison at the heart of everything. When you have reached the center, you are halfway. A couple of newer pieces. So I started this thing of, I always try to write a birthday poem, which is shortly after the new year, and I've been writing centos, like short ones, borrowed lines from other people, and so these are all like Minneapolis, Twin Cities poets, and the thing that happened the day that then David Bowie died, a birthday cento. We listen from outside, and so we closed our eyes, considering how a subject becomes an object without voice. I wake thinking like a manifold, a starburst compass points me to the last light, for certain bright apocalypse. Didn't we always know there was grieving and Fred Astaire's danced? Earth, you're a ghost maker. There are such mysteries to reconcile. I think of horses when I see you. My antenna farm tingles. I'm still waiting. There are definitely Chris Martin and Mary Oscar speaker lines in there. Sorry. It's two more? Okay. So this is a golden shovel. I feel like I know that I'm in a room of poets, and I don't really have to tell you that a golden shovel just borrows words for the end of the line. But I'll just tell you that anyway, just in case. So this is a Husker Du golden shovel poem. I know, sort of stereotypical Minneapolis. I mean, it's Husker Du is a band I have loved since I was a kid. So. And so the last words are what's going on, what's going on, what's going on inside my head. What make the end line. So smoke it. Probably what's the difference? What's gone missing, is going to remain missing even on a reunion tour. What's lost in budding versus what's lost in rotting. Triggers for our FOMO. Going by the logic of looped breakups. Feisty on the fumes of former fuels. What's this particular crowd passing around? It's going to mosh pit our bedazzled coyote minds. On second glass, those are real fucking coyotes inside. Real coyotes lean and loping toward a vanishing point. My fellow feral howl monuments. The concerts kicked off in my head. I wrote The Threatened Everything, I think, I got to read here 2 years ago, which was really cool, and I think I had just learned that Threatened Everything is coming out. And it'll be out in a month, and it's bringing this friend called Quitter, which is a big surprise. And this is a ghazal that I wrote that'll be there. So it's going to be a little repetitive, right? It's Quitter ghazal. Are you like me, the kind of person who would tame a cloud? Maybe you should quit. Or maybe you should reframe thinking about what it means to quit. Why do you ace tests you find lame? Does it feel like recital mentality? Poorly aimed contextual obsessions? Quit grading each gamey, cloud-shaped breath. suffering the clockwork imposter complex while famously glinting the rules at everybody? Quit. I only make these suggestions because for the longest time I was conjuring. I was inanely blessing the curses. I was thinking about the shameful things I quit. It felt lonesome, like a campaign to memorize the glossary to the book of love. Don't look at me was my only exclamation. Then I tried collecting myself like a thinging around the thinks I had claimed to quit. While I was interrupting possible interruptions, clouds became acid rain, yet sacred. Let's quit changing the subject. Let's quit blaming the lack of crown and the crown of lack. In fact, quit hitting yourself, quit hitting yourself, quit hitting yourself, quit hitting yourself. It's strange to practice accidental rituals, to join company love's misery clubs that lend us faulty names. Let's quit heeding advice from ourselves, our rules about rules. I only make these suggestions because for the longest time I was injuring. I had quit the wrong things. Now I say, fuck it. And quit the whole world-haunting game. Cisewski, you're a fire cat clawing out a sacred cloud's belly, one acclaimed, flaming quitter. You have to use your name in the last line. It's weird. So, thank you very much for listening.